Hi, welcome to my video on solving inequalities, part 3. The inequalities are pertaining to the absolute value function. Let's do some examples. Solve each. And just to remind you, P, E, M, D, A, S is PEMDAS. That's the order of operations. Parentheses or brackets, exponents, multiplication, division left to right, addition, subtraction left to right. But when we're solving equations, we want to isolate the absolute value, so we do the reverse. We do the addition, subtraction first, then we do the multiplication, division, then we do the exponents and inside the brackets. So notice we will isolate the absolute value, so we'll move the -1 over to become a +1. And that becomes less than or equal to 10. Now we have reverse, so now we'll divide by 2. Again, we want to isolate the absolute value, and which is done. 10 divided by 2 is 5, so that makes it the negative of x minus 4 is less than or equal to 5. Less than is an and the plus of x minus 4 is less than or equal to 5. Notice I do the negative of what's inside the absolute value, and I do the positive of what's on the inside of the absolute value. Notice less than equal to 5 is here twice, but less than or less than equal to is an and. Negative x plus 4 less than equal to 5. Negative x less than or equal to 5 minus 4. Negative x less than or equal to 1. Divide by -1. And I get x is greater than or equal to -1. And the plus not changing, so x is less than or equal to 5 plus 4. X is less than or equal to 9. So if you look at it on the number line, we have a -1 and we have a 9. We have it greater than or equal to. Greater than, equal to is a solid dot going to the right. 9 is less than equal to 9 is a solid dot going to the left. Notice an and is an intersection. So what numbers fit both inequalities? So we have -1, 9, x is in between, that's the numbers, and we have less than, equal to. Less than, equal to. Less than, equal to, less than, equal to. So the interval is a square bracket, -1, comma, 9, square bracket. So that means all the numbers between -1 and 9 fit this inequality, and also -1 and 9 fit this inequality. If you want, take your time and check out a 0. Let's try a 0. 0 is here, 0 fits. So let's try x equals 0. So I'm going to put a 0 in the equation and see if we're right. So that's -4. Absolute value of -4 is a 4. 8 minus 1 less than 9. 7 less than or equal to 9. And that's true. So looks like we're okay on the solution. Because sometimes you can make a mistake. In other words, when I divide by a negative number, if I didn't change this less than to a greater than, I would be shading out here. Or I would have less than here and greater than here. I would have an overlapping. But again, just to be careful. And I have one to practice on. Solve this one. Again, let's isolate the absolute value. So we'll move the plus to the opposite side, right side, make it a minus. And we simplify that to -18. Divide by -1. And we divide by negative. Notice, negative divided by negative is positive. Less than becomes a greater than, and that's an 18. Again, be careful when you divide an inequality by a negative number or you multiply. If I multiply this by -1 on both sides, I still change the direction. So now we have the negative of 3x plus 6 is greater than or equal to 18, and greater than is an OR. The positive of 3x plus 6 is greater than or equal to 18. The negative is 3x minus 6 is greater than 18. Negative 3x greater than 18 plus 6. Negative 3x is greater than 24. Divide by negative 3. X negative 8. And when you divide by negative, the greater than changes to a less than. Okay, and 3x, when you have a plus, you don't change. 3x is greater than 18 minus 6. Notice I moved the plus over to the right to make it a minus, transposed. That's a 12. I divide by 3, x is greater than 4. Notice I divided by a positive number so the direction doesn't change, so that's an OR. So x is less than negative 8, or x is greater than 4. So on the number line, if you think about it, let's say that's a negative 8, that's a 4. So it's a hollow dot because there's no equal sign. It's a hollow dot because there's no equal 4, greater. So that's the answer, or in the interval, it's an open, negative 8. Less than is going to negative infinity, open, or it's an open because it's not equal to 4, and going to the right is going to positive infinity. And again, you can check a solution, take a number greater than 4, which is a 5, and check it out to see if it works, and take a number which is less than negative 8, negative 9, negative 10, and negative 11. Check it out. Okay, and one more. Solve and check. Okay, it says solve, and we're going to check to make sure. First thing we do is we have to isolate the absolute value, but we have to do 9 to the 1/2. So 9 to the 1/2. 9 is 3 squared to the 1/2. This is the power of a power, so they cancel. You get 3 to the 1, or 3. Another way, 9 to the 1/2. 1/2 means square root of 9. And the square root, 1/2, that's a 2. And that's a 1 understood. Square root of 9 is 3, so that's a 3. So we simplify the exponent first to the power. Now, we got to isolate the absolute value, so we'll move the 3 and make it a minus. We got a negative 1/2, x minus 3, absolute value, negative 1. So now we can multiply by, we have a fraction, so let's multiply by negative 2. And a negative times a negative is positive. 1/2 times 2 is 1, so that's x minus 3. Because I multiplied by a negative, the greater than becomes a less than. That's a 2. So we have the negative of x minus 3 is less than 2. Less than is an and. You're going to be in between two numbers. And the plus less than 2. When negative 1 times x, negative 1 times negative 3 plus 3. Negative x less than 2 minus 3, negative x less than negative 1, divide by negative 1. X is dividing by a negative, changes greater than, that's a 1. X minus 3 is less than 2, the plus doesn't change. X is less than 2 plus 3, x is less than 5. And just to draw the number line, we have a 1 and a 5. And greater than 1 is a hollow dot, no equal sign, going to the right. Less than 5 is a hollow dot, no equal sign, going to the left. So notice an and is the intersection. What's in both sets? And the numbers that are in both sets is 1, 5, x is in between those two. And we have a, again, this is the inequality that it's not this one you got to look at. It's this one you have here before we work this out. So this is a less than, so a less than, and we're in between. So 1 is less than x, less than 5. There's no equal sign. And so these are the answers, or the interval is open, 1, open, 5. That's the interval notation. So we got to check to see if we're right. So if I took 6 and plugged it in, it should make it false. If I took 0 and plugged it in, it should make it false. So the only solutions are the numbers between 1 and 5. So let's take x equals 2. 2 is in between, so 2 should make it true. So here we go. Negative a half, absolute value of 2. So I'm plugging in a 2. And before I do anything, I'm going to work out the power. So 9 to the half is the square root of 9, which is 3. So assuming you got 3 right. So now we got, we can work out the inside of, that's a negative 1, so the absolute value is 1. And negative a half times 1 is negative a half. And a half add on 3 is 2.5. 2.5 is greater than 2. True. So it looks like the numbers, if you take any number between 1 and 5, it'll make it true. So this is the right solution here. This is the interval notation solution. This is the inequality solution. So just solve the equations. Again, you have to isolate the absolute value. So you're working in reverse of PEMDAS when you're solving. You have to isolate what's in the brackets. And that brings us to the end of this unit. And that means the next, I have 2 more videos to do, which is the review of the unit, and they're broken up into 2 parts, two part reviews on the video, because I didn't want to make one video long. And again, if you like my video now, click on the like button, subscribe button. Visit my website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. And that's the content that's on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained. Thank you for viewing my video. Bye-bye.